And we're back for May 20th here in the NBA. Timberwolves Thunder, game number 1 for the Western Conference Finals. They kick off the conference finals here in the National Basketball Association, as tomorrow the Pacers and Knicks will go at it, actually on Wednesday, because you're seeing this video on Monday night. Again, I'm going to try to get these videos up earlier, be it the conference finals, because I'll know the odds the night before. So tomorrow we'll have our Pacers and Knicks predictions out. As soon as Timberwolves Thunder is over, I will get the video up for Pacers and Knicks. By the way, Pacers to win the NBA championship is plus 750. I still think they're winning the entire thing. But anyways, we get Timberwolves and Thunder game number 1. The Pacers and Knicks will have to wait another day. The Thunder, with only one day off, get to play at home here against Minnesota. The 68-win Thunder and the 49-win Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, folks, before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA predictions and best bets here on the channel. Earlier today and every day, we have our MLB best bets. Make sure to go check that out. 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Go make sure to check out those videos. Let's now move on to the one game today. Thunder Wolves. I'm going with the Thunder in a blowout. I know what you're thinking. The Timberwolves have been off for quite a minute, right? Their last game was Wednesday, May 14th. It's been 6 days since the Timberwolves have played, and the Thunder just played 2 days ago on Sunday afternoon. I get that. I still think they run right through Minnesota. I call it Minnesota disrespect. You can. I still don't think this series is all that close. I think Minnesota's getting one game max. I really think so. I think you look at what the Timberwolves have done in the playoffs. I think if the Lakers had a center, they would have beat them. If Curry plays, I still think Minnesota probably would have won, but I think that would have gone to 7 games, right? If Curry never got injured initially. Even though I think that would have been a very, tight series regardless. Again, just of the Curry injury or not. Again, Curry's injury changed that entire thing. Anyways, I think OKC just gives Minnesota a lot of problems, if I'm being honest with you. I think the defensive unit that the Thunder have is just going to really stifle this Timberwolves offense. And we've seen it at times, right, with the Warriors, who at their best play good defense, at their best are good defensively, right? And we saw that in game 1 where Golden State held the Wolves to 88 points. And there were nights where Ant wasn't at his best. Obviously, Julius Randle had a really good end of that series. But there were nights in that series where, okay, the Warriors defensively were great, especially games 1, 3, and 4. They were really good defensively against Minnesota. Again, the Timberwolves found ways to win in San Francisco both times out, but those were 2 very close games that they just edged out. OKC, I think, is kind of getting underrated a little bit now because of what happened against Denver. And game 7, again, was not competitive, right? The Thunder fell behind early in the first quarter, and then OKC just, boat raced them the entire game. They held Denver to 93 points. But when OKC's at their best, that's what they can do to you defensively. And my thing about the Timberwolves is, I don't think they're good enough offensively, and I don't think again, they'll have their nights, right? Because Naz Reid, DiVincenzo, Julius Randle, they'll hit their shots. But I don't think they have enough to overcome that personally. And I do think it's a Rudy Gobert problem at times. Because again, Gobert, we didn't expect him to be as good in the semifinals than he was in the first round with the Lakers, obviously with a combination of LeBron, Vando, Hachimura, and DFS guarding him, right? But I think with Gobert on the court now against OKC, all right, that's not a real scoring threat. They'll put a Hartenstein on him, and I really just don't think Gobert is going to be able to offer much there. And then, yeah, okay, we expect Ant to get his points, obviously. But there's a chance, and we'll see. I think OKC just might double Ant, kind of like the Lakers did, and try to take the ball out of Edwards' hand, kind of what's been happening to Shea for OKC. I think there's probably a good chance that's what OKC will do to Ant Edwards. And then what happens from there, okay, if there are going to be games where Mike Conley hits his 3-pointers, right? You look at game 5 of the second round against Golden State. That's what you do, right? You double Ant, and then Mike Conley's likely the guy open. He goes 4 for 6 from the 3-point line. It's either him or it's going to be Jaden McDaniels. Take your pick, right? It is what it is, but I think OKC is going to force someone other than Ant to beat them. And we saw this last year with Minnesota, right? They get to the conference finals, and again, completely different scenario. Obviously, they were playing Luka and the Mavs last year, and how, Minnesota, or I guess OKC lost to Dallas the round before. But we saw Minnesota get to the conference finals. They had all the hype around them, and they lost in, 5 games to Dallas, when a lot of people were backing them to be the team to come out the West after they go out and beat Denver. And I just think OKC's on a different level, personally. I just think they're on a completely different level. Again, there will be nights where Minnesota is going to hit all their shots, and that's why I do expect them to win one game. I think that is probably going to be game 3, if I'm being honest. I think first game in Minnesota, I expect the Timberwolves just to have a great shooting night. But past that, again, because, right, Naz Reid, depending on the game, Naz Reid can be really good. Depending on the game, Dante DiVincenzo can be really damn good as well. And, again, he's going to have his nights, right? Edwards will have his nights where he scores 40 points. It's just a matter of what happens around him, right? And what happens with Julius Randle, too. Right, Randall's either going to be really good or, he's just on the court, right? These two teams split in the regular season, right? OKC won the first game, Minnesota won the second. OKC won the third, Minnesota won the fourth. That was the game where Ant blocked SGA at the rim to win the game in OT. So it is what it is on that. But I just think the defensive presence of OKC is going to be too much for the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves, I don't think they can continue to shoot the way that they have in some of these games against the Warriors and Lakers. And again, I will not discredit what Minnesota has done. They have won games in the playoffs with great shooting nights, but they've also won games like Game 5 against the Lakers, Game 4 against the Lakers, where they really just did not shoot that well from beyond the arc. And they just found a way to win because they're either playing Golden State or Los Angeles, who A, couldn't guard the center, especially with the Lakers, or B, just couldn't offer anything back offensively. Hell, the Golden State Warriors were, looking at Jonathan Kuminga as their number one option because Jimmy Butler could only shoot the ball 9 times per game for some reason, right? That's still a mystery to me, by the way. So again, I think OKC in 5. I think what Shai Gilgeous-Alexander does for this basketball team is, it's on a different level from everyone else in the league. Right? I think he's the best player in the sport. As soon as the Thunder eliminated the Nuggets in Game 7, I believe it was Richard Jefferson who said, Jokic is the best player in the world, but SGA is the MVP this season. I'm going to say Shai's just the best player in the world, period. I think, and watching this OKC team go through this postseason run, I get it. They were historically great in the regular season, 68 wins. It's incredible. 68-14. Again, that's all-time stuff out of the Thunder. But watching this team in the postseason really shows that, okay, this team, they're good. Without Shai, they're a 6 seed, I think. A 7 seed, maybe. But with SGA, then, that's the reason why they are so great. Again, Jalen Williams, who had a good Game 7, had a Game 7 that he needed to have after his horrendous Game 6 in Denver when he went, 3 for 16 from the field, right? J-Dub needed that Game 7. He was 10 for 17 from the field, 24 points. Obviously, SGA gave the Thunder his 35, in which he usually averages. But the reason why J-Dub was an all-star this season, the reason why he's considered to be, pretty solid is because of Shai. Chet, I don't know about Chet Holmgren, man. I think the jury's still out on him, if I'm being honest. Again, he's extremely young, and I say it all the time with OKC. This entire team's young, right? SGA out of the core, again, Alex Caruso's there. He's truly the oldest guy on the team at 31. But out of the core, SGA is the oldest guy, and he's 26 years old. And he's going to win his first MVP this season, right? Which, by the way, why has it still not been announced? If that's not announced before Game 1, I don't know what we're doing. I truly don't know what's going on. It's May, late May now. Announce the most valuable player. It doesn't make sense to me. But again, I say that with Chet, Chet's going to improve, but for this specific run, I think OKC's good enough to get out the West. I look at what's coming back at them in the Eastern Conference, and this is where I will separate Minnesota and Indiana. And call me crazy for saying this, but I think it's true. I think Indiana's just on a different level than everybody right now offensively. I think they can go out there and just outshoot OKC the entire game. It doesn't matter what defense the Thunder are going to bring to them because you face an Indiana lineup who everyone on the floor is hot from the three-point line, right? And again, we'll get more in Indiana tomorrow, and I get it. They have a tough series with New York, and I'll tell you what I think about that series tomorrow. But you look at Indiana, everyone on the court's a shooting threat. Unlike Minnesota, where yes, you have a Gobert. Can we really trust in a Jaden McDaniels 3? Conley will have his nights, but can you really trust in that? I don't think so. Indiana, again, it's crazy sometimes when Tyrese Halliburton might be the worst three-point shooter on the court, percentage-wise, right? But yeah, Halliburton, Miles Turner's been excellent from beyond the arc. Siakam, Nembhard, Nesmith, they can all shoot. And then off the bench, Thomas Bryant's hitting three-pointers for this team now, right? You bring in Ben Mathurin, who can hit three-pointers off the bench. TJ McConnell, not real. He can shoot the ball, obviously, but he's going to play that Tyrese role and just facilitate, right? That's where I think OKC's going to have a lot of problems. I firmly believe that. And sure, I would have to assume Minnesota's going to double Shai again. And that's what truly will make this up to Jalen Williams. I don't think SGA is going to play another playoff series this year without getting doubled the entire game. Sure, there will be spots where, like in that Denver game, right, in Game 7, where he got stuck one-on-one with Christian Braun, and obviously, right, Shea's going to take it himself. Shea's either going to hit that mid-range, or he's going to drive on Braun, because nobody can stop him, obviously. But I don't think he's going to face another team that won't double him. I mean, it would be stupid not to. And again, that's where Jalen Williams comes into play. I said this prior to Game 7. I said Jalen Williams was the most important player on the court. Yes, again, like Lou Dort's going to get his looks, right? Chet will get his looks. You know Shea's going to score, but how much is he going to be able to score? You need a guy like J-Dub, who is he really capable of being a number 2 on a championship team? If he is, then okay, the Thunder are fine. That's where I do worry about this team, you know, in the finals, and even in this series, but I think they can be good enough, because here's the thing about J-Dub. I don't think J-Dub has to play a perfect series against Minnesota. I don't think Minnesota's going to shoot lights out every single game. Again, I keep saying this. They will have a game, maybe 2, where they do shoot lights out. But I don't think J-Dub's going to have to be consistently great in this series, because I don't think the Thunder are going to be, you know, in need of scratching and clawing for points, right? Because I don't think they're going to be chasing Minnesota that often in this series. When they get to the next round, though, if it's New York, personally, I think the Thunder match up great against the Knicks. Again, I feel like Indiana is just a nightmare matchup for them, because they're always going to be chasing points. The thing about the Pacers for the longest time was, oh, they just don't play well defensively. Well, that's kind of changed in this postseason. Like, look at the way that they guarded Cleveland. And sure, again, the Cavs just would miss some shots, but, like, it wasn't a bad defensive series at all for Indiana. They dealt with Milwaukee fairly well as well, right? So I think in that scenario where OKC's playing Indiana, then you need J-Dub to be excellent. You need J-Dub to be a true number 2. And I keep bringing this up, and I still will do it again. This is why OKC needs Kevin Durant. That's why they need him. Until J-Dub is a reliable number 2, and when he is a true top 15 player in the sport. I don't know if he's ever going to be, but he's already an all-star. Again, that's a product of SGA. But if you bring on a guy like Kevin Durant for next season, that's when you have to respect the second option. And then, okay, when J-Dub's your number 3 option, Shea's your 1 and KD's your 2, then you do create for those one-on-one matchups with SGA. Right? I just think there's going to be a lot of trouble for Minnesota, especially when we get onto the bench in this series as well. The Timberwolves play 3 guys off their bench. Really, 2. They played 3. They played Nickeil Alexander-Walker quite a bit. But they play Nickeil Alexander-Walker. They play Naz Reid. They play Dante DiVincenzo. Right? You get to that Thunder bench, they still have a 10-man rotation pretty much that they go to at times. It's really it's kind of a 9. It's an 8. No, it's a 9. It's Cason Wallace, Aaron Wiggins, Alex Caruso, who's been just a game changer, who don't be surprised if he's on Anthony Edwards at points, and then Jalen Williams from Arkansas. Isaiah Joe's been squeezed out. He's been rough shooting a little bit. I know he hit a 3 in garbage time on Sunday, but Isaiah Joe's kind of been squeezed out the rotation. So I think OKC is difficult to manage, man, especially in this series against Minnesota. Unless the Timberwolves shoot lights out from 3 every single game, I just don't think they're going to be able to keep up. And I honestly don't even think OKC has to play a perfect series here. I think they're going to play great defensively. I think Gobert is going to hurt Minnesota a lot in this series. Sure, he's going to be a defensive presence, but OKC is just going to shoot the 3 ball all game long, kind of just take him out of the equation. And we'll see if they switch on to Gobert. They'll try to get the switch for Shea, but again, if Shea's being doubled the entire time, I just don't think that's going to be much of a factor. But regardless, I think OKC wins this game. I think they cover too. I just think they completely shut down this team defensively. It is the first home game, or the first series, the first time the Thunder have been in the conference finals since, 2013? When they lost to San Antonio and they were trying to go back for the 2nd year in a row against LeBron and the Heat. So, yeah, this crowd's going to be amped up, and I really think OKC comes in here and beats them, and beats the brakes off of Minnesota as well. So it's going to be OKC spread, money line, whatever, but 7.5 for OKC. I think they should be able to cover. And then tomorrow, oh man, Pacers Knicks. Am I excited for that? Folks, thank y'all for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks or the pick. We'll be back tomorrow again for Pacers Knicks Game 1. Folks, thank y'all for watching. And Mamba forever.